vlogging in the band locker room. Alright, you guys, so I'm going to a birthday party this weekend for one of my dad's friends, and I have decided that I'm going to make cake pops for the first time, and you guys are coming along with me on this experiment. So let's get this started. Alright, so you guys are like actually on my stove right now, so I got Pillsbury yellow cake mix.
Going from Mexico City, London to Paris, 우리가 가는 그곳이 어디든
I think I'm out of oil. Give me a sec. Well, I don't have oil in a plastic bottle, so we're gonna use this.
London to Paris, 우리가 가는 그곳이 어디든
I'll be back with some eggs. So I'm just kind of crack my eggs right into the batter, which I know you shouldn't, but I ain't about like getting out a whole nother bowl to do it. I don't have a trash bag, guys, and I don't know what to do with eggshells, so we're just gonna stick them back in here, and it's fine. Ew, there's egg everywhere. I swear, I'm usually not this bad at like baking, but today this is like already a mess. It's fine. It's 8:30 in the morning. But like it's also summer and it's South Carolina, and you have to bake in the morning or late at night. Otherwise, it's gonna be way too hot. And now we make. Bring it in the oven. Okay, so I finished making the chocolate cake, and now both of them are in the ovens. The chocolate cake was a bit of a mess, not gonna lie. I dropped one of the eggshells in the cake. No worries, I got it out. There will not be any crunchy little pieces in my cake pops. Not today, sis. And then, when I turned on the mixer, I turned it on way too high at first, and the cake mix literally went everywhere. I was not expecting that. So that was a mess that I had to clean up. That was fun. For now, I'm going to go read. I finished the audiobook of King's Cage yesterday. More on that at the end of this video. And now I am on to Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo, the first book of the original Grishaverse trilogy. So that's gonna be, I'm actually really excited for this one because it's Six of Crows universe, and I love Six of Crows, so this is actually gonna be like really good. So I will see y'all later. Hey guys, okay, so I really meant to read a lot more this week, but I did not do what I had originally planned to do. So what I wanted to do this week was finish, I think it was my herbology assignment. Let me check. I have my notebook right here with all my stuff in it. So yes, I wanted to get my excellent in herbology. Now to get my excellent, I needed an audiobook or a book with a green cover, and I chose King Cage for that book, which is the third book in the Rod Queen series. And if you've been following my channel, you know I've been reading that since like July-ish, June, July-ish. It's August now, almost the end of August. Oh no, I just ripped a page. I'm muchi sad. Mucho, muy. I don't know what I just said, but it was not Spanish. Okay. Anyway, so for the audiobook is for the acceptable grade, I believe. And then for exceeds expectations, I needed to read a book that is 350 to 390 pages. Now for that book, I chose Shadow and Bone. And after I finished King's Cage, which I did finish according to plan, I meant to read Shadow and Bone. but for the life of me, I could not get into Shadow and Bone. So instead, I read the Foxhole Court. Why do I keep calling it a Foxhole Court? It's the Foxhole Court. Anyways, so yeah, I read the Foxhole Court, which is for my under 300 pages book. It is 250-ish pages, I think, and that is for the excellent grade in Care of Magical Creatures. And I have 2 more books that I need to read to get my outstanding Care of Magical Creatures, which I am going to be taking care of this week, since technically it is the next week and I'm just filming this really late because I've been super busy. I meant to finish this video over the weekend. It's Tuesday now, but you know what? It's fine. I was working on my cake pops, which failed. I was doing something for my Girl Scout Gold Award. If you know what that is, it is 80 hours of stress, and I'm kind of over it, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. It's gonna be fine. Anyways, so my cake pops. First of all, let's cover that since I did a little bit of vlog on that. So I failed putting the vanilla cake pops together, threw those out. And then I was planning on doing the chocolate cake pops on Sunday after I had done a little bit more research on how to do them. And then my mom decided to use the crumbled cake to make her own dessert. So I was just like, looking for my cake pop stuff. And then I see like, oh cool, there's another dessert in here. And I was like, hey mom, what's that? And she's like, oh yeah, I used your cake. And I'm like, seriously? Anyways, not my point. King's Cage. King's Cage is the first book I read last week for week 2. And everyone's like on week 3 already, which is like super weird. I'm like, where did I get lost? But whatever, I'm just going by the weeks of August. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm really not fine, guys. I'm a whole mess. King's Cage. Okay, so audiobooks are not my forte at all. It took me like 3 or 4 days to get through it because it's just, I have to go back and re-listen to things because audiobooks are great because you can do other stuff while you're listening to them, so it's not like you're being totally unproductive the entire time that you're reading to them. But part of the problem with that is I would easily lose track of what was going on, and I would also start, like, if I was listening to it late at night, I would like kind of pass out, and then I'd have to go back like 30 to 40 minutes in the audiobook in the morning and re-listen to that whole thing. So I honestly just prefer doing the classic read your book with words and your own eyes. It's just so much easier in my opinion. But I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about audiobooks, you guys. If they're your cup of tea, you prefer audiobooks, more power to you. But I'm gonna stick with my seeing books, just not my hearing ones. Moving on. So the actual book. Let's start with not the overview, but like little things that I liked within the book. So I was kind of surprised that I started to like Evangeline's character in this book. Like, this is the first book with point of views that are not Mare's, and I really liked that about this book. And it gives you like an insight into Evangeline's head, and it makes her a much more sympathetic character because you can see why she is the way that she is, like her exterior that she portrays to everybody. She's really not the same at all, her true personality. And did I mention that she's gay? Because she's gay, and I got so shook. I was like, whoa, this is not something I was expecting from this series, because I don't know, I never, like, I've heard a lot of stuff about the Red Queen series, and the gay characters were not something I had heard about, and I was super, super happy when I started reading King's Cage, and it's like, oh, these people be gay, because Evangeline's gay, and Maven is, like, I am 98% sure he's bisexual, because Mare mentioned that, like, he loved Thomas the way that he claimed to love her. Maven is the he, and I was like, oh, bisexual. And I'm here for that. I am here for the representation. Yes. So thank you, Victoria Aveyard, for making my day with these characters. Moving on. So another thing I noticed in this book is Mare is trapped for a long time in this book. That's the whole premise of this part of this series, this book, is that she needs to be rescued from Maven, and she is kept without her powers for a good majority of the book. And I was just thinking, you know, it's crazy how something that she didn't want and she was so willing to, like, push away from herself and disassociate with in the first book is now something that she cannot live without. And I think this is, like, less than a year after King's Cage takes place, like, less than a year after the Red Queen, but she's already so acclimated and dependent on her ability. And now, my overview. King's Cage was not my favorite in the series so far. It felt very slow to me. There wasn't a lot of action, and I really liked the action parts of the series. Victoria Aveyard writes them extremely well. But this book was just a lot of Mare. It was a lot of intrigue, but Mare didn't know anything about it. And that's what makes it interesting, when the character is kind of, like, in on it, or when they're actively trying to figure it out. But Mare wasn't doing a lot of it. The majority of the intrigue was on Evangeline's part, and there weren't as many Evangeline chapters as there were Mare chapters. So when it was in Evangeline's point of view and she was talking about all this intrigue stuff in the court, I was like, yes, okay, I am here for this. But really, Mare's part was just super boring to me this time around. And then another part I didn't like was that the other half of the book was just basically Cameron having an identity crisis about where she belonged. And, like, I get that it's necessary for her character development, but I feel like that's what this book really was. It was character development for a lot of the characters, kind of like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. That felt like a character development book to me. But another thing I was really not happy with was the ending, and that's just, it was a good ending in the way that it really fit the characters, like how, that's a spoiler, it really fit the characters' arcs, and especially Cal. I am so mad at Cal, but the ending did fit his character arc, which I know isn't finished, but at the point that he's at, it makes sense. It comes back around to something we've seen him struggling with for the past couple books while they've been on the run. And it makes me mad, but I know it will eventually get resolved. So, moving on to the Foxhole Court. Guys, I was hooked literally from, like, page 2 or 3. I don't know. I read it online. So, the Foxhole Court is about this kid, Neil Jostin, who he plays this sport called Exy, and it's kind of like a mix between lacrosse and football, American football, and it's very violent. Well, no, I think they said it's a cross between lacrosse and ice hockey. That's what it is, ice hockey. Well, no, I can't say that. I don't love both sports. I love ice hockey. I love watching it. It's a lot of fun to watch. But I am terrified of lacrosse sticks because of an incident as a child. Anyways, so Neil is on the run from his crime lord father. And Neil's not his real name, but it's like his 23rd identity. So anyways, he goes to play Exy for this, they describe it as a halfway home team at Palmetto State University, and this series kind of follows him and the team and them not only going through the Exy season, but dealing with all the drama of the, like, crime lord stuff. I'm describing this, like, really badly, but it's really good. It's like mafia and sports, and I'm here for it. And it's literally a sports anime in book form, which is awesome. I love sports animes. One of my favorite animes is Haikyuu. Season 4, I am ready. January 2020. Let's go. I am getting off topic. So, one of the things I really loved about this was that Palmetto State University, the college that Neil goes to, is based off of Clemson. Now, I am a South Carolinian. Clemson is in my state, and it is also my top choice of schools to go to, so I am loving that all of these characters are technically at my favorite college, and I might not have any Palmetto State University merch, but I do have Clemson merch, and I think that kind of counts. So I'm just gonna say that it counts. I have Foxhole Court merch. Not really. It's fine. So like I said, I was hooked from like the first couple pages, and that's because there was this just really hilarious part where Andrew, one of the main characters, hit Neil in the stomach with an Exy stick, and it was hilarious. I was like, okay, yeah, I like this book. I don't know if like that really like kind of thing like hooks anyone else, but I think it's just like comedy gold. And immediately after, the coach of PSU is like, God damn it, Minyard, this is why we can't have nice things. And I'm like, yes. I see, that's like a line I've seen in a lot of like memes and stuff for, well, like fandom related memes, not in general meme culture. So it was kind of funny to see it in there, and there were a lot of like really good zingers in this book. I have that one written down, and I also have one that I think is hilarious just as a South Carolinian. The characters were trying to find an exit off the highway, and Andrew said that it was the exit with the Waffle House. So another character, Nikki, he's like, this is South Carolina. Every exit leads to a Waffle House. And I was just like, you know what? You're not wrong, Nikki. You are not wrong. So it's just cool to like know these like inside things about the book. And I know there's like thousands of people who would also know them because they also live in South Carolina, but like to the people who don't, they're like, okay, so I'm learning this about South Carolina right now. And another thing that I thought, so it mentions that two of the characters, Abby and Betsy, they went to college in Charleston, and there are multiple colleges in Charleston, but I like to think they went to College of Charleston because that is like my third choice college. So if they went to College of Charleston, that would be pretty lit. And I'm sorry, I have to look at my notebook a lot because I have a lot written down and it's hard to just like remember it all. So, right, at the beginning, I was hooked, but it was also like a little hard to understand some of what they were saying. I feel like that was just the author getting assimilated to the world. It was me getting assimilated to the world. It was just like a combination of things, but there were just some sentences that didn't make sense. And I had to like go back, reread them a couple times, and I still didn't understand it. But that could also just be me being an idiot, because I claim that I am an idiot. It be like that sometimes. Whatever. Oh my god, I have so much written for this book. Like, I literally loved it so much. So, I thought that the character Kevin was gonna be, like, an antagonist by the way that Neil was, like, afraid of him at the beginning of the book. But it turns out, no, he's not. And I'm, like, really happy about that, because I love Kevin now. And I cannot wait to see. I really want Kevin to remember who Neil is, and I want to see the fallout of that. I'm really looking forward to that, like, in the next couple books, to see if that happens. And another thing about this book, I knew it was going to be dark, but I didn't think it was going to be this dark. Oh my god. It's crazy. I mean, I love it because I love dark stuff, because I have a strange brain, apparently, but it was just, oh my god, it's a lot darker than I thought it would be, and I've kind of deep dived into the fandom. It gets darker, and I'm like, ooh, oh, there's gonna be a lot going on in the next couple books. I am ready. I am here for this stuff. Alright, so yeah, here's one last thing, because I have way too much written down, and this video is already pretty long as it is, and I'm sure you guys don't want to sit through like 30 minutes of me like blabbing about how much I love this book. Was nobody gonna tell me that it was set in 2005? This book is set in 2005. YouTube was just made. Supernatural season 1 was airing. I was like 5. Wait, no, I was 4. I was 4 years old. What the heck? This is like some crazy alternate universe. I was honestly expecting that this book was in like some futuristic society, because Exy doesn't exist. And I was like, oh, it just develops in the future. You know, that's what we should do. We should make Exy. Like, Exy should be a thing. Somebody do this. Come on. It sounds like a super fun sport to play, a super fun sport to watch. People may get hurt, but that is okay with me, because they get hurt in football, they get hurt in ice hockey. What is one more sport where people get slammed up and get concussions? Oh my god, I can't speak. Right, so that is all I am going to say on this book, and that's all I am going to say for today. I will see you guys next time. Thank you for sticking around this long if you made it. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, comment if you liked it, or, you know, give me some constructive criticism. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time.